Hello, I am going to be reading on Donald Trump's current situation to see if he has had some sort of sudden uh, decline or medical event, because we were seeing that for him, and it could be now that that's begun to open up. So let's just take a look and see if indeed that is what has happened. I've done a lot of readings off the camera, and I do see some kind of an event, a health event, no less. But that they're trying to control the narrative and keep control and power that like they've had, and they very much don't want us to know. But let's just see what I get now with the regular Rider-Waite deck. Has Donald Trump had some sort of significant medical problem that they're hiding him from us? Yes, this would be a yes to me. This is the world. Something is over, something is completing. Off camera, I got resigns, has to leave office with the health issues. And this is home. I think he is looking at some point in the relatively near future of having to step down. Sorry, my allergies are kicking in. I forgot to take my tablet. All right. This is resistance and fighting and arguing and being difficult, and wanting to wait. So I think people are definitely not in agreement within the GOP about what they want currently to do. I think they are trying to bide some time, see if he doesn't respond better. But I've gotten cards again off camera that showed that he would not be getting, if he had an episode, everything back. There would be some sort of disappointment with that quick recovery. And I feel like there's some different agendas here that are battling each other. It's like a battle for control once he's going to be looking like he's not going to be there, for to be the president. I feel Trump does have some restraints on his movement. They are restraining him, but also that his own thinking as well is limited. And again, there's no movement here. This is at a crossroads where you need to make a choice. I got that earlier. I think something has occurred, and really, he should not be there in office. There is worry, there is lack of sleep, this is anxiety, and he's anxious. And he's all obsessed about death now and the afterlife. I just got he's afraid to go to sleep. Maybe he's afraid that he would pass. And he's working on trying how to, I think, save himself. Um, and I'm sure the GOP, their power. The lovers, these are agreements. Oh, and the moon. Lack of clarity there where agreements, contracts, relationships are concerned. And I'm looking at Vance and I'm looking at Melania, that kind of stuff. His relationship with her, there's something going on that's going to happen there. And I don't think he trusts Vance at all. I don't even think he really likes Vance, to tell you the truth. It's a feeling I'm getting. Um, I get the Fool and the Magician. He's still going to try, really going to chance his arm and try to continue to hold on to power. And I think this is also an attempt to communicate, but it might end up looking foolish. It might be too soon. Um, what else? Let's see, we get that. I think legally he's going to have to step down. I just sense like it's not good for the country, and judges might actually have an opinion on this that's going to matter. Um, then there's going to be something new coming in. There is a shift. There is a shift. Okay, let me see if I'm going to ask a question with to do with the eclipse, if that's going to affect him. Will the eclipse on the 7th affect Donald Trump's health, whatever it is, um, and mind even more? Will that have an effect on him at all? The eclipse of the supermoon on the 7th. Will that affect Donald Trump? He's going to need more help. Yeah, I think so. There's a need for help. And the 10 of Cups, that's family, and family support. Having to step away, having to walk away or leave with the 8 of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. But there's kind of a stubbornness about walking away. Wanting to wait longer and for something, I'm sure, to help Vlad overseas, to hold on, to control. He doesn't want to leave the control that he has and that Putin friendship and all of that. So they're going to have to I think they're going to be trying to convince him that he's going to have to step down. That's not going to go over well. As you can imagine, the Sun, there will be clarity on poor health. The 5 of Pentacles, it will be clear, undeniable, and it will also probably get leaked or exposed. So I'm thinking if he doesn't step down as soon as they would like so that they could maybe get Vance in or whatever, they're going to, I think, possibly expose his health themselves in some way and say it was a leak. The Democrats did it. Yeah, because there's a feeling of being stuck or trapped. And his mind, I don't think, is functioning the way it should. With the 8 of Swords, very much kind of captive. And oh, this is Melania feeling stuck as well. It's like, what? You didn't want him, now you don't want your sugar daddy? But why? We get death and we get the Hierophant. Maybe he's going to want to talk to the Pope about death. I don't know. But there's maybe talking to also the death energy is around, and then there's belief systems. And this would be your traditional belief systems, uh, more conservative. but there's an ending around it too. So is this an end where the religious support is concerned? Maybe with some people, maybe him asking for money so he can get to heaven will finally, jar some people, but I'm, relatively sure that many others will be silly and give it. I'm getting the Three of Cups, and there is patience required. There is the need to hit certain goals. Maybe for Melania, she's thinking, oh, I'm finally nearly free. Just need to make sure I get the money I want. Honestly, that's kind of the energy. I do get the Fool and Strength. So I I think he's going to try to get out there too soon. And it's going to be clear that this is not going to work out, that this is going to create a new situation coming. Because this Strength is about self moderation, and we got the Fool. It doesn't look right to me. Ten of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, having to release and let go and move on. I really do think he's going to end up having to leave the White House. I do. With this reading, it just doesn't look good. Something's happened. All right, let me throw. Got to organize my stuff over here. All my decks have gone everywhere. I'm just trying to think what might be one I want to use. Hmm. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I'm just using my Oracle of the Rose, and I'm asking if, again, just being open, if Trump has experienced some sort of a medical emergency or a change of some kind medically. And I get gentleman. Well, he's no gentleman, but it's that would be him. And I get storm. This again makes me think within the brain. Um, like electrical storm in the brain, perhaps like a stroke or a mini stroke or something. Something there that's not right, some kind of chaos with his health. And I'm getting focus is an issue. Maybe even his eyesight could be affected. Behind this figure is like an eye chart, and they've got a little monocle there. And that's paired with leap of faith. Maybe they're hoping that that's going to improve. I get tower. This is in this case, this is not the Lenormand deck. This would be more of the tarot type of tower. This is something destructive. And yes, so I do think he did. And they're just trying to control the narrative. Disconnected. I think his thoughts are disconnected. I think, it's just not quite linking up, firing right. Um, he's not quite recovered because there is a strike to the crown, the top, the roof of this tower that's being destroyed. I do think it's something that is leading to the end of life. Innocence, self-love. Well, unfortunately, the self-love he has is not more innocent. It's selfish. It isn't healthy self-love. If it was, then he wouldn't be the kind of person he is. But we have this desire for um, to be innocent, and I think maybe being aware, too little, too late. Intuition and Queen of Hearts. To me, this is his daughter. This could also be his ex on the other side, but I think it's his daughter and her intuition because she is a Scorpio. And I think that she's she knows that this is bigger than perhaps what they're thinking now. This is a new beginning. And a carousel. So it's not really going anywhere. Let me just get the meaning of carousel on here. Hold on. So, yeah, carousel means stuck, going nowhere fast. And with a new beginning, it just, again, I feel like it's saying he's not going to recover. Um, it's not moving, it's not progressing in a way that is needed. I get celebration and solitude. To me, this is people that are glad. Um, oh, there's a few things I'm getting off of that. I'm getting people that also are willing to come out of being more of an introvert and coming out to celebrate with other people about it. Rabbit hole. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of conspiracies. And the emperor, and he's probably going to be the author of most of them. Um, or others around him. But I get epiphany and dark moon. Well, the dark moon actually comes on September 21st, where that partial lunar eclipse happens. Um, so there's going to be something very clear, I think, by the new moon about his health, which isn't far from now, really. Let's just see also with this deck. Will the eclipses, the solar and the lunar this month, affect him and his health? Trump. Will they affect his energy? Rose glasses. There's that delusion aspect. And also the denial of everything's fine. TikTok. this denial and delusion is not going to last. It has its ending time is coming. I get gentleness, masquerade. So pretending to be gentle, it's a facade, the innocence that he's going to try and like, oh, I'm just needing help. I think he's going to play that up. And he already is with, as I've said, asking for funds so that he can go to heaven, which doesn't make any sense. I think money just brings him comfort. Leap of faith, Queen of Hearts. I think Melania is just going to take some chances here. Not Melania, I'm sorry, his daughter, Ivanka. Or maybe it's Ivana here. I'm getting the carousel again about him being stuck. And there's knowledge, some sort of knowledge that they have. Okay, what's that? Maybe they're just trying to keep some sort of knowledge from coming out, that he's not progressing. There's the secret with the priestess. Yeah, and the emperor. They're going to be trying to keep secrets and keep him hidden. But because he's not progressing in the way that he should with whatever's happened. And I did get the tower, so I think it could have been some sort of a, what do they call those, like a TBI or something, like a one of those little mini strokes or something. I get summer and I get storm again. I think there's another one coming on the way to him this before the equinox, before the autumn equinox. And being that we got, or I got some cards that talk about um, what would amount to the new moon, that would be the 21st of I'm sorry, the is it, oh my gosh, let me see. Is it the 21st? It is the 21st as well. The new moon in Virgo. I think is not going to be easy on him. So that answers that. And then winter. There's some sort of new beginning. And I'm kind of treading carefully around this because I always get the winter solstice as being also significant to his health and something super big. I get wisdom. Could be that he'll need more specialists come winter. And I get magic. Yeah, using their wisdom like magic, using their super skills in wintertime. There's something significant about that, trying to help him. Intuition and the sun. I think his intuition knows, and it's going to become more and more clear. I think he's going to just blurt out things. I do. I think he's going to continue to probably say what they've told him not to say, like, oh, I'm talking about death and all of that and being obsessed with it. It's going to become very, very clear. Remember communication. problems with his memory and communicating. I think speech and cognitive skills that we use when we're speaking to understand what I'm being asked and to respond in a sensible way, I think all that's going to be really clear that there's something wrong. Okay. I really like using that Rose Oracle. And I'll try to put what ones of these I can remember in the description box. All right, let's try the Neptune moon. So far, I'm pretty convinced. Because why else would they be, hiding him? So, how is Trump feeling right now? Has he had a medical episode? Does he have more coming? Let's see what we get. Windows to the soul, your purpose and truth. I think something about his eyes again. Remember the other cards where, well, I can't remember now, but I'd gotten one with the monocle. Something about the eyes might be, or vision might be significant. Write it down, scribe. Window to the soul, scribe, write it down. He might be having to write. Oh my gosh. His communication and writing could be also affected unless he's using it to communicate more than with speaking. I think he's trying to convey what he really wants or something by trying to write it. But I wonder, can he write? Does he have control? The motor skills and everything. There's something atmospheric influence, how you are affected. Okay. Mercury, the messenger, important information. He's wanting to get something written or something communicated here about how he's affected. This could also be an article. There are already articles that are being written. But I feel like these are leaks, continued leaks. Write it down to journos who are investigating this. And the atmospheric influence, the people around him, the Mercury, the messenger people that are sharing the information, leaking. Path of progress. Okay. Self-betterment is paired with open your eyes, awakening, remembrance. Trying to get him, I think, to come back to his memory. I'm getting him sleeping a lot too. Or maybe like at inopportune times that it could be like, he stays up all night, has trouble sleeping, and then falls asleep later. There's just it's kind of choppy. The way forward into the future and guiding star, trying to be guided. Karmic effects. I got this earlier for him. Cause and effect. Well, live like he does, I guess, and don't take care of yourself. You do end up having problems. I get stellar gateways. Take a leap forward. Taking too many risks, you know? Um, Cloak of confusion, mind fog, and forgetfulness. So there you go. It's coming back again. He's definitely got something going on. Cosmic Gears, the Great Reset. Wait till those eclipses hit. I think there could be more brain fog and forgetfulness that's going to really show up. Now I get Soul Script. This is the pre-written blueprint. So now we're being told something about before he incarnated, what he, a part of the the plan, the length of stay. And it gets revealed. Reveal the hidden, covert. So part of what his purpose is in being here is for secrets to be revealed. And for covert things that they've tried to keep quiet about is going to come out. His secrets, I think also that GOP has been up to, that's pretty big. And he's at a crossroads, at a new beginning again, trying to follow, navigating spirit, direction of your journey. And I get, yes, this is, meant to happen. The rebel's liberty, freedom from bondage. That would be freedom from his tyranny. Destined path, embrace fate. I think also he's going to feel trapped in that body. And especially if he does not recuperate, regain things back. If this hasn't already happened, I think it's going to. And I feel like he's just going to want to be free of it. Spirit channel, connection download, and energy, invisible force. I feel like then he's gonna have a lot of spiritual energy that's around him, like guides and things like that, because he's on that kind of a precipice here, this freedom from the bondage of like the body and um for real. And going to spirit where you are energy and you're not flesh and blood. Telepathic harmony, words unsaid, truthful insights, believe as truth. Okay. Let's see what else. Sovereign ruler, authority over it. Guardian shield, protected or guarded. Is that the office being protected? Further from him? Our sovereignty is being protected. Jupiter's bounty, expansion and growth. I need to look more into that. And purity surrounds. It's trying to cleanse his negative energy. Because that's the energy also of the of the eclipses coming. So that definitely is going to affect his energy and push him to expand or grow. I don't think, and definitely pushing sovereign rule, sovereignty. And people can be praying, all right. I get sacred gratitude, prayer and faith, renewal, emergence. I think, truthfully, I know this is going to sound terrible, but I feel like people are going to be praying that this is that he just go, honestly. And this renewal emergence for a new beginning to be released from his tyranny and grounding and protecting different dimension, not here. I think he will leave the earth sooner than he expects. There's definitely a lot going on the other realms. I would like to do also a reading just on his afterlife. But yeah, so he did have some kind of health issue that's definitely occurred, definitely happened. And again, I don't think he's going to quite recover the way that they're anticipating or wanting, and not certainly as quickly. It's going to be a problem. Survival mode, heightened alertness. To me, this is him, the GOP. They know this is not, and they were not anticipating this. This is going to be a challenge. They're fighting for their, to retain authority, tyranny. And we get lunar illumination, reveal the hidden. Okay, well, their secrets are going to come out. It's just going to get leaked. It's like the universe is telling us it's meant to. And I believe that around the 21st of September, there could be an important leak with that lunar illumination, because that's when we have the new moon and a partial lunar eclipse. And I think that energy will affect him, and it's going to put him in survival mode. Truthful insights and about him and about his plan to, I think, trying to rule everything, trying to be the dictator. This connects again to past lives and also his timeline back in 2016. There's echoes, ethereal echoes that come from another life and timeline affecting him, atmospheric influence. So, yes. And I especially believe this does connect probably more. It does say past lives, not past life. So, probably more than one past life. Um, Warriors of Mars. So, that battle for dominance, to be the dictator, to be the ruler, to be the king. But I get freedom from bondage, the rebel's liberty. I get freedom from his bondage. destined path. He's got to embrace his fate. He's had his power, he's had his time, is my feeling. And now it's like your timeline is ending and you're going to have to exit stage left. Mercury the messenger. There's important information around his fate and him embracing it. I feel silly saying this one. You're uniquely Uranus. Sorry. Radical shifts or disruption. That would make sense. I think I've shown that there's going to be a lot of disorder, chaos around this. They're trying to control the narrative desperately and shift things to their benefit. The GOP kind of have Trump moved out there when it's best to them. And I think they want to try and use Vance. It's a new time, and it's his time is over. There's a time for expansion and growth. And I'm being shown that it is part of his contract before he was born here that I think he would have to leave, and he would be doing that. And he won't be able to do as he's done here with that. It doesn't work that way. Again, release from soul script. Freedom's embrace. I think he's going to be released from the physical building blocks, physical matter. Part of this is around his ending that he agreed upon. We get a distraction addiction, bound by technology. Again, the issues perhaps with the messages right now not looking like his. And that's a real addiction of his. It's unlike him. Maybe if he does recover some things, we'll get some more of his crazy rattlings on. But it's only going to make him, I would think, look more not meant to be there. Yeah, the way forward into the future and different dimension, not here. Okay, yeah. Once again, I'm getting the repeated message, and I did shuffle the cards. He's going to be going to another dimension. Simultaneously unfolding at the same time, vibrational alignment, the frequencies around you. Well, definitely the celestial events are changing the energy. That's what they do, that vibrational alignment. So all of this is going to be going on. This is going to be a lot in a very short time from now. Thoughts matter. It's all mental. And guiding star, inspiration as your compass. So trust your mindset here and your intuition, and use your intuition as your compass in this matter. And it's what he should do. Thoughts do matter. And if you hold negative thoughts and you're always negative, thinking like him, I don't think you attract the kind of healing that to you that you could. Yeah, cloak of confusion, mind fog, forgetfulness, polar duality, opposites trying to find balance. I see him being all kind of just out of it, not at least not together. There's just Lost, yeah. A shift in perspective may occur too. There's invisible energy there, the ethereal energy, spiritual energy, and I see issues about his relationships and the fact that there's not going to be a lot of empathy, I think, from Melania. Fearlessly Pluto. Transform and face your fears. He's going to be forced to do that. And we get caution, Eye of Ra. He's going to, this is where the negativity, this is protect from negativity, where you need to be careful. But he's too late. That negativity is, I think, and the fear within that man that has just been built upon since he was a child. Um, I think we're going to have some keen eyes watching for very subtle signs, also that are meaningful, with the eagle vision and subtle transmission. Okay. I just want to use the Lenormand very quickly. Okay, let's see how this goes. Or maybe I'm going to use this Latvian Lenormand deck. It's really pretty. Okay. So show us Trump's way forward. I get the tree. It's usually to do with health. The letter, the whip, and the garden. So let's just take a real quick look at that message. Alrighty. And the combinations here. Oh, well, there's definitely a health issue. And needing to be patient. It's very interesting that some of the nouns we get for this card, it's interesting. They've written a few different things down, but we get blueprint again, which we did with the other deck a bunch. Time, DNA, well-being, memory, network, life system, ancestors. And this is definitely connecting to health. First card. And the letter, well, that's communication, of course. I'm just trying to get any little piece that we can. Let's see, 27 here. Okay. Okay, that's, communication that is written, received, or sent. So maybe that could be emails, texts connected to his health. And the whip, something that happens. Let me see that. 11. It can be disruptive and argumentative, like a lawyer or student proving their points or thesis, but it could also indicate slanderous statements, vilification, and verbal abuse. Ooh, there's going to be, I think, some threatening letters, I think, concerning this people that are talking about his health or bringing up his health issues. There could be like a cease and desist letter. Um, the garden, I think, is society, people that are around doing so, talking about it. Um, the whip has the effect of repeating whatever it describes. So it's connected to the garden. So it's connected to society, greater society, going on about the health, not letting that go. And it's challenging and there's also research and there's arguing around it. So people are just not going to let this health thing go away. I get the key and the mayor. Okay. So let's just see very quickly. I just like to linger a little bit and look and make sure I didn't. Sometimes you can pick a word up that's just like, oh, wow, that's had that happen a few times. So let me just take a moment here and I'll close out this for right now. So yeah, the garden is generally the community, so society, the public, and group events, world at large. Let's see here. It is expressing itself as many protests, things like that, people speaking out. Okay. And let's see, key and the mayor. So 33 and 28. Well, that's him. All right, I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's his significator. Okay. The opening, of course, or solution that you've been looking for can provide a reason when it comes to at the beginning. No, wasn't that. It also stands for chief or notable next to a person. Well, that's him. He is a notable person. This is about Trump. This is people talking about his health and him, I think, threatening them. I do, with the whip and people talking about it, him not liking it. That is for sure. And talking about him, he thinks of himself so much. How dare we speak about him in that way? That was less than wonderful. So what else do we have next to that? Well, we have clover. That's luck. And the stork, that's a change in luck or fortune. Bouquet and the cross. Um, I think people will send him things, unfortunately, but I think that he is not going to be able to let go of the cross that he has to bear, this health issue. That is not gonna, in fact, it could actually help his soul on the other side that he went through this suffering. So he will be suffering. He will have his cross to bear. I do think people, I think you're going to have people that are, of course, content with that. No, it's horrible to say, but it's true. And I think that there's also, it's again, a gift in essence for him to, I think, as some way to basically save himself to some degree. Some, not entirely, but if he has to process his cross, that's going to be for his spirit very helpful because it's very heavy with what is on it. Okay. Let me just double check that one. I like to, on that 36. Yeah. What is necessary or faithful? But it's also your faith, conviction, or ethics. Where are he does not have those. That's, and he might be looking to find it. Um, let's see what else is with that. So, knowing what is necessary but is useful but not always pleasant. Uh, yeah, the cross is a grin and bear it kind of card. When it shows up in a spread, you know you have to face things and that life has become tough. So there's going to be no buying this off. There's not going to be any ability to do that. He's going to have to really face these health issues. It is not like the mountain, which is a challenge that can be surmounted. A cross is like a great big exclamation mark. When it comes before a card, it emphasizes it, as in cross plus garden, where you might expect difficulty in a social gathering of some kind or with, socializing. But his cross comes with a bouquet. Now, the bouquet is usually, here it is. When the cross, let's see, my eyes are skipping, sorry. Okay, so the garden where you might expect show. When the cross comes after a card, it finalizes it, whatever it is. So that bouquet plus cross means that the award, surprise, or gift will not be forthcoming. And that's the end of it. That's what that means. And he's got that. He's not going to get what he wants. And that's the end of it. Whoa, I'm glad I read this. Let me double check that again. You really want to make sure I'm getting that complete. So, when the cross comes after a card, and it came right after the bouquet card, it finalizes whatever it is. And literally, they say, as an example, is what we got, that the bouquet plus the cross means that the award, surprise or gift, will not be forthcoming. And that's the end of it. Cross indicates spirituality, religion, and all departments of sacred and mystical, regardless of affiliation. It can stand for, emblem or teaching of any religion or belief system, whether it's a Star of David, Buddhist, Eightfold, Crossroads, or simply the divine. It is a crisis and a transition, a test. We got that earlier with the other card saying that a test for him. We're seeing stuff that he set up on the other side, blueprint wise, for testing himself. Um, Sooner than you'd like, timing wise, is what it would mean as well. So his health is going to be his cross. And there's not going to be any reward. He's just got to do this. And I don't know that he's going to be able to stop people from talking about it, though he's going to try and um, go after them. We get clouds. This is uncertainty and confusion. He keeps getting brain fog and memory issues, and the writer. So this is uncertainty that could come in the form of messages from news and so on, that he's confused as well. And that there's also, I just think, confusion within the GOP, not quite sure on what they're going to do. Coffin and the child. So there's an end and I think a new beginning maybe here. Let's see. Boy, at this point, this is a real deep dive. Okay. Coffin and child. Let's see. 8 and 13. Okay. A child stands for things that are small, new, or beginning, as well as literally meaning a child or a young person under 18. It also includes meanings that convey a child's world view that is simple or innocent, and wondering can also mean naivete, immaturity, or faux pas. Mm, okay. So there is an end of innocence. He, there's a loss, a death of innocence. And I think it probably started in his childhood. But there's also an end of his immaturity, an end of him, because he's like the man child. So coffin means endings, things gone past their sell by date, and also illness. Coffin calls a halt and can bring you up short by its finality. And I think he will be caught wanting, especially with the description of the cross and the bouquet. He's not going to get a reward for this life. Um, there is no I can't say it, dynamism, just muffled echo of nothing there. There's, when it comes up in a reading, a sense of deadness or numbness comes with it. There's no act, like I said, there's no dynamic energy going on, just a muffled echo of nothing. It can show up as a death or funeral, but don't rush to read this as the death card because it rarely reveals this. It much more often reveals an end or of the completion. But still for Trump, whether I think with the health issues, it's an actual end and it will be coming. Coffin often indicates an ongoing illness. It can be read as quote unquote forgetful if it's with near the book or opposite of it. But we don't have that. We have it near the writer and the child. It's in between them. So I feel like there's confusion around some news that would come out around his, I think, passing when he does pass. And there's illness, I and decline, blackout, end, stagnate, silence, forgetful, sickly, silently. Timing, midnight, a few months off. That could still mean maybe that he might be here until, the winter equinox, the 21st of December. I still think that might mean something. These equinoxes mean something. He's going to experience, oh my goodness. Now, the equinox is on again, the numbers 1 and 2 were important for him. And I've talked about how December 21st has those numbers. And I had gotten during the winter solstice, and that's on the 21st, of course, it bears those numbers. But the 21st, 1 and 2 also for the autumn equinox on, what would that be? That would be the 21st of September. That's when we have that other partial lunar eclipse. This is all playing into it. I'm telling you, these energies are shifting him out of here. Expect big news with regarding his health. They're going to try and keep it quiet, but yeah, there's something definitely seriously going. All right, we'll leave that there for right now. Let me know what you think about this deep dive. Please give me a thumbs up if you appreciate readings like this. And I'll continue to throw some cards, I think, on Vance and how things look should once Trump is not in the picture. I want to see that too. Because I don't feel like Vance is going to be in office. I mean, if he is, I don't think it's going to last. Let me just throw it real quick with this other Norman deck. Might as well. Vance. Will Vance try and take over as president? This came falling out. Mountain and bouquet. There's an obstacle to that gift. There's a huge obstacle in the way for him with that, apparently. All right, let's just continue. Will Vance try to become president? Will he become president? Will Vance end up becoming president? I get man, and I get whip. This man repeatedly is going to undergo, I think, no, denial of that. Just no. There's going to be a fight over this. Time and letter. So there's something about communications and probably incriminating or things with emails, texts, communications that really don't look good for him. And at the right time, it's going to come out. And it's going to be very punishing for him to have this happen. And it's not going to be like a door opening to the White House. I get lady. I wonder if that's his wife. And I get masks. It could be that a woman is going to reveal um, some behavior that he hides. And tree, health, lilies. I'm feeling like sex life. Moon and coffin. I just don't think this bodes well for him as being president. Nope. So I'm going to leave that there. I think he's going to be in trouble. There's other stuff that'll come up and he's going to get called out on. And I'll read on him more in depth later. But this thing with Trump is real, and it is going to be leading to an ending. So I'll leave it there. All right, guys. Take care. And again, please give me a thumbs up, help my channel. Thank you so much.